Well, hello BookTube, hello book friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel and another video. Today's video is a tag video with a little bit of a twist because it doesn't have lots of prompts. It's a tag that was created by Gavin at Genre Books, and I've been tagged by both Pat at Book Chat with Pat and also Debs at Raina Reads Stuff. And this is kind of your fantasy bookshelf. So it's your best shelf, and it's your top 10 books that you would most like to have on a particular special shelf. There aren't really any more prompts than that, but there are a few rules. So basically, money is no object. So long as you can find a copy of the book that you want, and it doesn't matter whether it costs £1.50 or £1.5 million, doesn't matter. It has to be a book that you can actually read. So if you want a book that is in French, for example, you have to be able to read French. So I think that's most sort of foreign languages out for me. I can speak and read a bit of French and a bit of German, but I think I would struggle to read anything too complicated. But translations count. And it has to be a book that actually exists. So it can't be a fantasy book or a fabled lost book that may or may not exist somewhere. It actually has to be a book that exists. So those are the three broad rules. I have to say, I have both thoroughly enjoyed putting together my list for this tag and also being quite sort of frustrated is not the right word, but trying to whittle a list down to 10 was hard. But also, a lot of the books that I wanted to put on my list, I own. And so, for example, I have a book here that I didn't make it onto the list, and would have done if it had been 11 books or 12 books or whatever. But it's this book, The Darkness is Light Enough by Chris Ferris. Chris Ferris is a pseudonym. It's basically a nature diary of the time that she was spent watching badgers and foxes, and it's mostly set at night. I love this book. It's one of my all-time favourites. Why isn't it on the list? Because I have a copy that I'm very happy with and I love. I love this copy. If I'd lost it or given it away, I probably would have put it on the list. And I think that will be a recurring theme, as you will see as we go through. So this didn't make it on the list, but it would have done otherwise. So my 10, and following on, I think, from the book that I've just shown you, A Darkness is Light Enough. These are in no particular order at all, but I'm going to kind of sort of put certain books together. So my first pick, book number 1, as I say, in no particular order, Gerald Durrell, My Family and Other Animals. And I would really love a first edition copy of this. I would even love a Penguin edition of this with the cartoony cover. I'll put a pickup of the first edition. This and the next couple of books I'm going to talk about are books that really kind of shaped my childhood, shaped what I wanted to do in life, shaped the subjects I was interested in school and at university. Yeah, I I love this book. I would love a first edition copy of it on my fantasy bookshelf. I'm probably going to have to go away and reread this. This is the problem now. What's happened is I've picked 10 books that I know I'm going to have to go away and reread because, but that's a nice problem to have, isn't it? So yeah, copy of My Family and Other Animals in the first edition by Gerald Durrell. Same applies to this next book. And this again was as a childhood book I read it as a child. And I would really love a copy of African Adventure by Willard Price, but in this style of edition. So this is Children's Book Club edition. And these are the editions that I first read these stories at school. I'll pop a picture up of the version of African Adventure that I would love. And these are just beautifully illustrated by, is it Pat Marriott, all throughout. Whereas the paperback copies that I've got, although they do have some pictures in, they're not the same kind of standard as these. So I would like African Adventure by Willard Price in this edition, if that makes sense. Doesn't have to be a first edition, but just that edition. One of the series of books that I've been collecting for quite a few years is the Wildlife Photographer of the Year. And I have nearly all of them. Haven't got all of them. This is this Portfolio 2, which is the earliest one I have. And then I've got a few missing in the single digits. And then I've got a continuous run. I would really like Portfolio number 1. Again, I'll pop a picture up so that you can see, but I would really love Portfolio number 1 to go on my fantasy shelf. So yeah, quite expensive. Not that rare, but quite expensive. Then, so where have we got to? What's that? 1, 2. That's 3. Book number 4. Again, a childhood favourite, but also an adult favourite. And again, I own this, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I bought this a few years ago because this is an illustrated edition. So it has lovely colour plates in it. The reason I bought this edition was because it has the lovely original wraparound J.R.R. Tolkien cover that he drew himself, and it is also a facsimile copy of the version that I had, which I borrowed from school and read one summer. And so I don't need another copy of this. I have this, but I would have this on my fantasy shelf. Right, next up. Okay. These are I'm kind of moving into copies of books, so that I once owned and have loaned to somebody or lost or given away. I don't know. I no longer have them. I can't find them. They're no longer on my shelves anywhere. And the first of these is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I first read Jurassic Park when it came out in paperback back in the early 90s. I was at university at the time. I would like a copy of the paperback with the same cover that I read back in the early 90s, which is this. I don't want a fancy first edition. I have to say I am quite drawn by the the Folio Society version, but I would rather have this one. So yeah, I just like to have that. I have got another copy now, but it's in a what is it? A compendium with something else. Might be Congo or Sphere or something, or both. So yeah, that's what I just like to get that back on my shelf in that edition, or failing that, the really expensive Folio Society version. So yeah, I'd like that. Then I would also like back my copy of An Empire Strikes Back, which I had back in the early 80s, I think, which was the movie edition version, which had the pictures of the movie in the centre. So, a dozen pages with pictures from the movie. I've got this reissued version from probably the 90s, when they did all the special edition, never seen before, extra 10 minutes of the movie, and changed other things, which, depending on your point of view, you may or may not like. This doesn't have that centre section, so I would like back my copy of the movie version, which I've again lent to someone or have lost or whatever. So yeah, I've lost count of where I am. I'm just basically working on the fact that I think I've covered everything. I've got notes, but that doesn't help. Yeah, I've got a couple more books. I think I've got 4 more books. Again, similar vein, I would like back my Puffin edition, Stig of the Dump by Clive King, with the Edward Ardizone cover on it. Again, I know who's got it. I can't get hold of them because it's complicated. I know who's got it. I would like it back, or a replacement, or I would like the Folio Society version, which has the same cover on it. So yeah, Stig of the Dump by Clive King. It's got, this copy has the Edward Ardizone illustrations in it. It just doesn't have the Edward Ardizone cover. I don't know why. Why would you not? It has the fantastic illustrations. So yeah, still nice edition, but it hasn't got that cover on. I would also like, please, for my fantasy bookshelf, a copy of Firefox by Craig Thomas. Now, I could plump for a first edition like this. I don't actually like that cover very much. So I would like, again, a book that I had once and gave away or gave to a charity shop, or I don't know what I did with it. I haven't got it anymore. I'd like a copy of the Clint Eastwood movie cover version. If this has photos of the movie in it, I don't think it does. I don't remember it having that. But if that exists, I'd like that version. And yeah, that's all. I don't want the fancy first edition. I don't particularly like, as I say, I don't particularly like the cover. But yeah, I would like the Clint Eastwood movie version, please. I'd also like my Pan paperbacks cover of Live and Let Die by Ian Fleming on my shelf. I've got this rather naff, is it Coronet edition? I don't like this, but it's the only copy I've got. Or I think I've got an ebook cover, but I'd like the Pan version, please. Just because I know I had that at one time, and again, I've lent it to someone, or I've given it to charity at some point. When you move house, and I think you maybe get a bit too overly ruthless when you're slimming down your books. So yeah, I've had to buy this subsequently, so I had a copy. But yeah, that's all. And then I think this is the final one. Let me just check my list. Mention that. Yes, yes. Yes, that's all. So this is the final book. And maybe this is the one that I'd like most of all. And I have it. This is Alistair MacLean's Guns of Navarone, first edition. I paid all of £5 for this because it's written and signed. They're not, his novels are not very expensive in first edition. I think, even now they only, £10 is about average for a relatively good copy. This is in pretty good condition. It's got, somebody cut the price off the front dust jacket leaf, but I love this book. It's my favourite Alistair MacLean story. I'm lucky enough, privileged enough to have a first edition copy of it. So I don't need it be signed would be nice. If it was as in good a condition as this one. I don't think he signed a lot of books though, so that might not exist. But yes, I am very happy with this cover, with this copy rather. So I don't need another version. But yeah, that's my 10. It was hard getting to 10. Some were no-brainers like this. This was a no-brainer. Others it was really difficult whittling it down, but it has been a fun tag to do. I've really enjoyed doing it. And yeah, let me know what would be on your top 10 if Money No Object has to exist. You have to be able to read it list. And if you have been, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.